All right, guys. So we're going to need a straight edge, and we're going to need our compass. And I'm just going to move that over here. Take your straight edge and just draw a line on it. It doesn't have to be a specific length. Now, we kind of did this the other day, but I can draw parallel lines using a corresponding angle theorem, right? What do we know about parallel lines and their corresponding angles? They're what? They're what? They're congruent. So what I could do is I could come in here and just, it doesn't matter what kind of angle. In fact, I would encourage you guys to draw different types of angles. But basically just draw a line that intersects like so. Okay? And so this gives me a nice little angle here. And so what I'm going to do now, let me move this out of the way up here, is I'm going to make that angle on the transversal a little bit higher up in such a way that it will automatically construct a parallel line. So let me rephrase that in plain English. If I make a corresponding angle on this transversal, then the line that comes out of that angle would be parallel, okay, to my original line. So what I'm going to do, remember how we duplicate an angle? I'm just going to take, let me change the color of that. I'm just going to take my compass. The width doesn't matter so much. In fact, let me delete this so you guys don't get confused. Oops. I don't want an infinite color. Delete. Okay, cool. Whoops. You know what I did is I deleted it. There it is. All right. So now what I'm going to do is, the width doesn't matter. Just you got to remember that you cannot change the width once you do it. Get your pointer right there on the intersection of the two lines, and I'm just going to make a sweeping arc. Like so, okay? And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move just a little bit up the line here, and I'm going to do two things. One, I'm just going to make a little point. Okay? And I'm going to make sure that my pointer is right on that point, right in the center of that point. I just arbitrarily chose some length up a little bit higher. Okay? I made a little teeny tiny point. You might not be able to see it if you're way in the back, but I just made a little dot here and put my pointer on it. And now I'm going to make another sweep. Make sure that your sweep is long enough. Okay? So, give you guys a second to draw that as best you can with those compasses you have. Okay? Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to measure this distance here. And let me change the color here. And I want to make sure yep, that's just about right. Okay. So now what I've done is, and you got to be careful, don't move. Don't change that distance or width on the compass. And I'm going to take that right here, and I'm going to swing this around and create a little intersection on my arc right here. So I'm just going to drop that down right there. Boom. Okay. And move this over to the side. So I've got two marks. I've got a mark here and a mark there. So now I'm going to take my straight edge, and I'm going to try and get that to line up as best as I can on those 2 points. I'll slide this over a little bit. My red marker is actually a little bit higher than my original green marker.
How did you do that one back.
It is.
This one or this one?
That one.
This one? All right, I'll do it again. I'll show you real quick. I just took my compass and I measured this distance here, right? So if I swing that around a little bit more, all right? So then I came up here and set that right there on the intersection, and I just came down around like this, okay? And then over here, I had a little mark. I probably need to recalibrate my smart board, but when I'm done, if I swing this around, I've got the two intersections, which is going to be about right there. Okay? Now, when I draw my line now, whoops, wrong color. Because I know that these two angles are congruent, and if I have congruent corresponding angles, then the lines are parallel. So this is not in the textbook, but let's just say angle 1 and angle 2. We would say if angle 1 and angle 2 are corresponding, and I'm going to abbreviate some of this stuff, and the measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 2, then L and, well, let's write it differently. Let's say L is parallel to M. And we'll call this L and M. Now that's just one way to do it. Can you guys think of another way using some of those properties I taught you before? No? Okay. So believe it or not, this is actually example number 1. Oops, sorry. It's example number 1, I'll read it out loud. It just says, given the line L and a point N not on L, construct a line L through M. So we would call this point here N. That's exactly example number 1. Okay?